Good morning and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Welcome to your Ignite News for Thursday, February the 14th. I'm Nicole Scholler.
And I'm Mickey Slinger. Here's what's making news.
Coming up in your Ignite News, Nicole speaks with the Catholic community about the Pope resigning. For Black History Month, Rachel attends an event that deals with the history of slavery and the Underground Railroad.
It is more meaningful when you can hear those actual words from these people who experience that, that triumph.
And Megan attends a dinner all about students for etiquette and success in career opportunities. All this and more coming up in Ignite.
South African Olympic athlete Oscar Pistorius has been charged with the murder in the shooting of the death of his girlfriend. Reva Steenkamp, a well-known model and reality TV star, was 26. She was found shot in Pistorius' house and was dead at the scene. It's speculated that Pistorius may have mistaken her as a burglar when she tried to surprise him for Valentine's Day. Pistorius made history at the London Olympic Games by being the first double amputee to compete.
Mohawk College hosted a career networking dinner in the residency building. Ignite News reporter Megan Facciolo was at the dinner and tells us more about it.
Diplomas, degrees, and certificates. Today's graduates may need more than these pieces of paper to get a job. According to corporate etiquette expert Fatima de Valentine, career networking is the most essential skill to have. She and Mohawk College's Alumni Association teamed up to facilitate a boot camp for former and current students to sharpen up their career networking skills.
Most of these students here have spent at least 2 years of hard study in their academic field of study, and they've done very well. Now they need to break into the career world, and it's a little bit different. So they need to heighten those skills. They need to take what they've learned and maximize it so that they can go out and showcase those skills. The best way to do that is to know how to present yourself to the global market.
The best ways to present yourself is through personal hygiene, appearance, and of course, proper business etiquette, which includes holding a glass or plate of food in your left hand. When you meet someone, you immediately shake with your right hand. You do not want it to be occupied with the glass. It is time-consuming to have to switch hands and can create an awkward moment. Some were there in hopes to learn skills that will get them in line for a career.
I find it really difficult kind of interacting with people, so I feel that this workshop will really give me the skills I need to succeed at finding a job.
And others, who already have careers, were there just to brush up on their skills.
Obviously, it's great to hear other people's methods on networking, and I just like to compare them to my own to see if I'm doing it appropriately.
Another tip: everyone should write out and memorize a personal pitch so at any given moment they are confident and prepared for a job opportunity. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Megan Facciolo.
Be prepared. Business fees in Hamilton are on the rise. Owners will be paying higher fees for planning applications and business licenses. This is City Council's attempt to force full cost recovery on its services. The fees apply to any business that plans to renovate, build, or change the use of a building.
February is Black History Month, and the McIntyre Theater here at Mohawk shared the celebration by hosting an exciting event. Rachel Williams is in the newsroom right now to tell us more about the celebration. Rachel, how did exactly the celebration go?
Thanks, Nicole. I had a chance to attend the historic event. It brought to life the individual struggles of the Black slave population.
Dancing, storytelling, and raising awareness. These themes were featured throughout Mohawk College's Black History Month celebration. Brian and Shannon Prince are descendants of slaves who came to Canada prior to the American Civil War. Their heritage has led them to pursue an interest in African American history, particularly the Canadian Underground Railroad. However, their stories transcend the traditional approach to narrating historical experiences. Shannon Prince says that it is important to avoid the textbook approach to describing the past.
I think because of the fact that because history when we were growing up is rather boring. You listen to facts and you look at things in books and you look at pictures, and it's really important, we have found, when you bring those stories and that history to life, and it is more meaningful when you can hear those actual words from these people who experienced that, that triumph.
The princes reenacted the experiences of individual slaves with a dramatic flair. As a historian, Brian Prince draws on personal diaries and archived material to ensure that the voices of the past are not forgotten.
There are people sprinkled across the province who are doing so much good work researching the stories, bringing them forward, and it's really interesting to see that growth and learning more about those fascinating people that have been forgotten, that didn't show up in the history books.
The presentation was accompanied by visual aids including books, pictures, and artifacts.
We have documents that date back to 1850, diaries, journals, census rolls, taxes roll, family trees, and a lot of the artifacts here have been donated by people.
The African American culture was further brought to life at the end of the presentation with an African dance performed by Mohawk students.
The traditional approach to telling history has changed dramatically. The Prince's presentation embodied this change, focusing on the individual struggles of the black slave population. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Rachel Williams.
Irving's famous clothes, a Hamilton landmark, is closing after 98 years in business. The store is known for business and dress attire, as well as its survival during hard economic times. On December 18th, 67-year-old owner Sid Leon died in the store. In honor of Leon's wishes to host a 100-year anniversary sale, the family has posted a donation box at the store during its liquidation. All proceeds will go to Project Concern, a Hamilton Police Service unit that supports various city charities. An asteroid, half the size of a football field, will hurtle past the Earth this week at 8 times the speed of a bullet. It will be closer to the Earth than the Moon, and scientists say it illustrates the dangers of a cosmic collision. Asteroids have been responsible for the total destruction of rural areas, as well as the extinction of the dinosaurs.
The Pope has decided to resign from his position. I had the opportunity to go to a local church and speak with the Catholic community about his decision.
Benedict XVI has announced his decision to resign at the end of this month. Many members of the Catholic faith seem to be understanding of the Pope's decision.
Well, the news came somewhat of a shock, but it wasn't an entire surprise, seeing that he wasn't in the greatest of health. And I know that another time, a couple of years back, there was talk of him wanting to retire or resign, but obviously it wasn't his time yet.
Not really surprised because, this is part of history. It's been done before, so it's one of those things that sometimes history does repeat itself.
I was glad I was sitting down, actually, because it was quite a shock to hear that, because in this day and age, you wouldn't hear of that, I mean, it's okay for like the kings and queens to resign, but they usually don't either. They're sort of in the same group because they have a lot of work to do, and maybe he felt that he was finished his work and it was time for him to think of himself. It might, because all the priests we've had, all the popes we've had have, reigned for many, many years. And they have been in their 80s, and that's quite an age for someone doing, a very important job.
Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Nicole Scholler.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up in sports, weather, and entertainment.
It looks like we'll still be seeing some snow in a couple of days, but things may warm up over the weekend. I got your full forecast coming up in Ignite Weather.
Beloved stage musical Les Mis will be returning to Toronto this fall in a revival production. That story and more coming up on Entertainment.
The Ottawa Senators lost more than just their game against the Pittsburgh Penguins last night. I've got your full story coming up on Ignite Sports.
Here's a look back at today's top stories. Business fees are on the rise here in Hamilton. Olympian athlete, allegedly shot and killed his girlfriend. Also, there is an asteroid passing Earth this week. Now let's pass it over to weather for your update.
Thanks, Nicole. In Windsor, it's cloudy at 0 degrees with moderate fog. Toronto is also foggy with the temperature sitting at -2 with a chance of flurries. In Niagara Falls, the temperature also sits at -2 with partial clouds and a chance of rain in the afternoon. London is experiencing some light mist at -2, and here in Hamilton, it is cloudy with some sunny breaks and a temperature of 0 degrees. Looking ahead to the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this evening it will be 2 degrees with a mix of snow and rain. Overnight it will drop to -2 with partial clouds, and tomorrow morning it will stay at -2 and will experience some partial clouds with sunny breaks. Looking at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow the partial clouds will continue with a high of -1 and a low of -8. Moving into the weekend, the clouds continue with a high of -6 and a low of -12. Sunday we'll see some more sun with cloudy periods at a high of -8 and a low of -17. On Monday, clouds will continue to surface with a high of 0 and a low of -12. And the snow is back on Tuesday with a high of 1 and a low of -4. That's all from me with weather. Let's check in with Chris to see what's happening with entertainment.
Adam. The beloved stage musical Les Miserables is returning to Toronto in a completely new version this fall. Timed to the 25th anniversary of the show's Broadway debut, it's one of 14 Mirvish productions lined up for the 2013-2014 season. Canadian actor Ramin Karimloo will star as the convict Jean Valjean, a role recently inhabited on the big screen by Hugh Jackman. Other shows announced for the fall include stage versions of the films Aladdin and Once, as well as a limited return of The Lion King. Speaking of The Lion King, former child star and voice of Simba, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, has announced his return to acting with a guest appearance on the ABC comedy Last Man Standing. Thomas played middle son Randy Taylor on the long-running sitcom Home Improvement, but has been mostly inactive in film and television since. Reuniting with his former screenfather Tim Allen, Thomas will be playing a potential love interest for one of the daughters of Allen's character. The former heartthrob is the second Home Improvement star to guest on Allen's show, after Richard Karn made an appearance earlier this season. The Roots en Route Festival kicked off Radius Cafe this week. Ignite News reporter Charlie Chase was at the festival to check it out.
The Hamilton Youth Steel Orchestra plays a tune in front of a packed house at the Radius Cafe on James Street. The orchestra are just one of the several performers and speakers there to kick off the Roots en Route Festival. The festival, organized by Hamilton-based Music and Arts Foundation, Matapa, brings artists and musicians together from around the world. Matapa Executive Director Philemon Mobjai explains the goals of the festival.
The goal of the event is to bring to Hamilton the best that the country can offer in music from the black community. And we're trying to connect and see that connection between the artist, the black artist, the African artist who lives now here, and African artist who immigrated to Canada recently.
The night featured a performance by dub poet Delicious and a speech by photographer George Quaino, whose work was also displayed. Quaino says his photography is about more than just money.
I've been taking photos to help people all the time, so this is mostly like it's a personal project I want to do to help people in need, and especially in my own community.
All the proceeds from the sales of Quaino's photography will go to help building a schoolhouse in Ghana. The festival will run until the 27th, and all citizens are encouraged to go. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Charlie Chase.
Now let's take a look at what's happening on campus.
I'm Brittany Medeiros. Here's what's coming up at Mohawk. If you have nothing to do on the 13th, come support your men's and women's volleyball teams. The games are from 6 to 9. The Mountaineers will be taking on Fanshawe College. Start off your Tuesday morning right with a breakfast at the college. Stop by the cafeteria for a free pancake breakfast at the Brantford campus. Try to arrive at 8:30 to ensure that you get first dibs. If you're still looking for those last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, what's better than having your Valentine pick out their own? Come stop by Mohawk College's Fennel campus, located in C Wing, where there will be over 20 vendors, including chocolate, candy, and much, much more. That's it for your community calendar on February 13th. Now back to the studio.
Singer K.D. Lang will be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. The Constant Craving crooner will be honored at this year's Juno Awards on April 21st. In her storied career, Lang scored massive success with audiences in the 90s with the platinum-selling album Ingenue, before going on to win 8 Junos and 4 Grammys. Recently, Lang also made a splash with her performance in the opening ceremonies of the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. That's all for me, Mohawk. Let's pass it over to Catherine for your sports update.
Thanks, Chris. The Ottawa Senators faced the Pittsburgh Penguins last night in Pittsburgh and lost 4-2. The Senators also faced a devastating loss, losing defenseman Erik Karlsson to a lacerated Achilles tendon. The Senators announced on their Twitter that Karlsson will need surgery and will be out indefinitely. Penguins elite goal scorer James Neal potted 2 goals, and captain Sidney Crosby scored a goal and received his 400th career assist. The St. Louis Blues snapped a 5-game losing streak last night in Detroit, winning 4-3 in overtime. Rookie Blues goalie Jake Allen made his first NHL start in his 2nd game in the league, making 15 saves. The game went into overtime, and 52 seconds in, Alexander Steen shot on a rebound, making the score 4-3. In the NBA, the Raptors beat the New York Knicks 92-88 on Wednesday night. Toronto improved a 5-2 since they traded for Rudy Gay, but was reserve Alan Anderson who stole the spotlight yesterday at Madison Square Garden, draining 6 three-pointers en route to a game high of 26 points. The Raptors' defense stifled the Knicks all night as they held the league's 2nd leading goal scorer, Carmelo Anthony, to just 12 points. The Raptors head into the All-Star break with 4 straight wins. Their next game is Tuesday, February 19th at Washington, and they face the Wizards. That's it for sports. Let's pass it back to Nicole and Mickey.
It started with a wink. That's all it took for 20-year-old Russ Anger to make Joan fall for him. After 3 children, 6 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, and 70 years later, the couple celebrated their anniversary in December. The couple married on December 12, 1942. A few weeks later, Russ went to join the Army and served as an electrician in the Signal Corps in Prince Rupert, BC. Even though they had little, the love that Joan and Russ had for one another kept them together through the tough times.
That was a very heartwarming story about a couple that will be celebrating their 70th of Valentine's Day together. Their story gives inspiration for several couples in our community. So we asked Mohawk how they met their special someone.
So I actually met my girlfriend back in high school. I was one of her brother's best friends, and we kind of split after, her brother and I, we stopped hanging out after we went to college and university. And then just last year, I saw, my girlfriend Ashley just walking around, and I decided to approach her and asked her out.
I'm happily single. That's right.
How did I meet my girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend or wife yet.
At a bar. Actually, yeah. I met my wife at a bar.
My girlfriend is in India, and I have just few friends here. I'm celebrating with them. Yeah, it's fine, but but it will realize us we are away from them.
I do have a husband, and I met him at graduate school at the University of Western Ontario in my 20s at a pub, actually, and I outdrank him. Probably shouldn't say that on TV, but it was the truth at the time.
Actually, me and my girlfriend broke up last week, so I'm single right now.
Gosh, I have yet to meet that special person.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It wasn't really working out too good. Like, we was only dating for like 3 weeks, and then before that, I was with the last girl for like 4 years, so I kind of need a break anyways.
But for those who are dating, I wish them all the best, and spend money on that woman and keep her happy.
That's all your news for February the 14th. I'm Nicole Scholler.
And I'm Mickey Slinger. For more news coverage, check out our website at ignitenews.ca.
Now we leave you with the song stylings of Sydney Sefa. Happy Valentine's Day.
Now kiss you
Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day. And I'll send all my loving to use. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips that I'm missing, and hope that my dreams will come true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, now be true. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I will miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you.